Okay, well, let me tell you. It's been a ride this week. It's been a ride because a lot of people got news that those finishing kits in were for Nebula were here.
Yeah.
And we got a few people with fires under their you-know-whatsies. And
They're behind
I
us.
frankly am still on 9, so I'm not even there, but they're like, want to get it cut, want to get it sewn together. I think, is yours finished, Danny?
No, I got half done.
She had, they were just like, I'm like, I'm on 9. It's September. I'm not supposed to be on 10 yet. But because they are, I say, all right, all right, all right, all right. So Danny was nice enough to share some cut files with me, which cut down on a lot of my work.
But wasn't there issues with one of our cut files?
Yeah, but she gave me a good disclaimer that said, you best test these out because I am not responsible.
That's right.
I'm not responsible.
Yeah, okay.
And I said, I got it. So what I did is I took the test files and I have cut the entire finishing kit out on the Cricut.
Already?
Already.
How long did it take?
Well, you got to keep in mind I was finessing, so you can't go by me. These guys will fly, thanks
That's what
to
I'm
me.
saying.
They're going to fly.
But I also spent days putting the files together. That's
Well,
why
then
I'm
I took,
asking.
but I took
That's-
yours apart and did it a wee bit differently. Yeah,
That's why I'm asking.
But-
How long did it take you to cut them?
I can't tell you. It will take them less than an afternoon.
Are you going to measure it in by days or by hours? How long
No,
it
it
took you?
won't take them more than a day.
No, but how
I
long it
should have
took
brought
you?
in the stacks. It took me days because you got to keep in mind, I'm looking at what's in the kit. I'm looking at the pieces that have to be cut. I'm trying to lay it out on them to get the most efficient use of the fabric. You know, like not waste the whole bunch. You know, how to cut it out, how to run it through. Because I got how many other people who want to use these files?
2.
No, there aren't 2. That's the
I
thing.
know.
There are a lot more. But as you can see by looking at these, every little thing is the same. They fit together like puzzle pieces, and they're all dog-eared.
I'm just going to shout this out right now
Yeah.
if you're watching this. I know a lot of people have done this. And if you cut it wrong and like, oh my gosh, I need more fabric, all of the fabric in the finishing kit is Tulip Pink's basics, so it's not like you won't be able to get your hands on more fabric.
Well, that leads me to a discussion. And I'm not the only one who's done this, as I've since discovered.
Are you serious?
Oh no, I am not the only one. There's several of us who have done this. We get this nifty little book, which I can't show too much on, but with our finishing
Yeah.
kit, we get directions,
Yeah.
finishing directions. So the first thing you do is you go and you find your cut pieces, right? So this is Becky. This is how I'm trying to make notes on what size strips to tell them to cut, how many they're going to need. I'm marking it all down. I'm going through A just fine. I go to B just fine. I cut all of C, which is 174 diamonds. 174 diamonds.
174.
Yeah, I cut them all. I get to D, and it goes 2 3/8. And I pick the fabric up, and I go, I'm short a whole yard. So then I go through my other kit, because I have 2. I'm short a yard on that kit, too. So I'm like, Dee, were you short on your kit? She goes, no, but I didn't measure it. I just know it was enough to do what I needed it to do. So, no, I wasn't short. Should I have it in the store? Yes, good, because I'm short, now I'm short 2 yards, right? So I go and I said, I'm going to check that other fabric. And I get to F and I go, 1.5 yards? I got half a yard. Both kits, half a yard. And now I'm short 4 yards. Now I'm getting angry.
Yeah, because that's like a lot of fabric.
4 yards I'm missing. So I'm like,
That's like-
Danny goes, I'm going to go in the shop and double check all the stuff and make sure, because I feel really bad. And I'm going, maybe we should tell the other girls. I'm like, oh, not yet, not till I'm done cutting, make sure, blah, 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 blah. So Danny sends me a picture, says, this is what it says for the shop to cut. It doesn't say 2 3/8, Becky, it says 1.5. And that's what you got. And I go, well, and I take her Photoshop and I go, well, mine says 2 3/8. And I go, oh man, Ed, you got to do a top down on this. This. Mine says 2 3/8. And I go, oh my God, I've been cutting for the king. I've been cutting all my fabric for the king.
Oh, wow. So you're all cut for the second one you're making too then, right?
No, I'm not actually, because I discovered it pretty early on. But I didn't need 174 triangles, or diamonds rather. So here's my tip, and I go on the Facebook group, and I am not the only one who saw cutting instructions and started cutting. Well, here's what you need to do, because I'll tell you the next, whoopsie. You need to take your book, y'all know I like the smiley clips, and you need to just
Clip it.
find where the king starts, because it's queen, and then there's king. Find where it says king block layout, and go like this. Thy shall not enter. Stay away from here. The pillow's down in here, but we can get to the pillow later. Don't go here. Which apparently...
The Forbidden Forest.
Well, look how, you just see the layout. You see the cutting instructions and you're on. Right? So, don't. Look for the word queen.
Queen.
But also, little rumor is that somebody else started piecing theirs together
I tried to piece it together.
using
Rumor has it.
this page. Now, it doesn't say anything above this page.
The back one,
No, I
the
will.
picture.
I know. But see these directions?
Yeah.
Well, they're not right because they're in the king section. So if you use this page to piece it together, you will fail. So once again, a good reason to just do this right now, get out of it because you're going to be so mad. This is the instructions for putting it together. Now, aren't you glad me and Danny went through this first?
Yay!
Because, oh, and I've got more. People, I got
Oh, I
more.
can't wait.
And I'm not the only one. And I'm thinking, I don't want
See, when I was
all
looking
20
at this,
people to be doing this.
when I was looking at this quilt, I was like, it's a neat looking quilt. It's gonna be a pain in the butt.
Well, what you also don't want to do,
It has been very entertaining.
I have 2 more fails, okay?
Wow.
Yeah.
This is
Not
not.
the Baxter.
This is not a successful week for you.
This one, okay, I'm looking at these instructions. Can we just
Jean is
drop down again?
a stapler would be perfect, Jean.
Yes, yes.
You gotta
I'm,
get to the pillow though.
I'm not to the pillow yet.
I know.
That's
me.
what-
Oh, so, yeah, the pillow, oh yeah, after the king is,
Or put a note on the
Or
repositional
repositional
glue.
positional glue on every page of king.
We should have John on here as a special guest
So-
sometime. Him and Jean would
So
be fun.
I'm looking at these instructions here, right? And this is again why I label. I gotta put an A with a B and a B with a B, right? So see, I set up my work table and I go, I gotta do an A overhead, good. An A with a B and a B with a B, right? Makes sense,
Yeah.
right?
If you're looking
So,
at the picture.
so and I'm gonna chain piece, right? Why
Yeah.
wouldn't you chain piece? So I put an A with a B. This is not right.
Did you chain piece like a bunch of those before you
No,
tried?
because I'm one of those people that sets it one block up first to make sure I've got it right before I go to chaining. And I'm going to show you why on this one
Good job.
specifically. But this, I might have done 2. But yeah, this
Well, I mean, you
is
cut
not
174
right.
blocks, so I mean,
So
you got a
when
few
you
to
lay
spare.
when you lay your pieces out, my tip on Nebula is let's put them how we want them to be when they're done, so that when I move this over, it's going to go in the right direction when I pick it up.
That's it.
It's that easy, Becky. It's that easy. So then what you have is when you're done,
The comments are priceless. to
the
that.
top row, the top row. See, I pieced this one right. After I did this, I went, oh man, didn't take it out just so I can show you how good it was.
That was nice of you to
I know.
to share.
Then I did this one and I did it right. But did I?
Well, what's wrong with that?
I'm going to show you because people were having so much trouble with their points. Well, this one actually is pretty good.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
No, I'm going to, well,
Thank you.
if you don't get these seams right on the money now, you are going to have point issues further down.
So you're saying
This is not right.
This right
I
here,
have a good
that 1/8 of an inch,
1/8 of an inch that is going
maybe
to give me,
1/16 of an inch.
it's going to give me a terrible time as I go down. Which is why I say before you chain piece, and I'm telling you, I'm going to show you how easy this is to fix. Fix it once, and then when you're sewing the next, I don't know, 500 and zillion diamonds, you know you're not going to deal with this, because I guarantee you, when you go to put these together, remember I showed you I have to do A, B, A, B, A, B? So I have to end up with this.
Yep.
It has to be together right. Look at how, Eddie, look at that. Look at how perfect that is. Do you see how perfect that is?
This is why I'm not making this
This one
quilt.
would not be perfect. It would not.
I don't know.
But I'm going to show you how easy this is to fix.
Take us.
I'm not seeing anything there that needs to be fixed.
The first thing I say, yes, Brent, there is. It doesn't line up. And when you, it's a 16th of an inch now
if that-
times 500. Because
I
I'm
see
going
that.
and I'm going and I'm going
I
and I'm off.
understand.
If
I'm
I'm off
just-
this much every single diamond, by the time I get to the end, I'm all like,
But the other
At
side,
least you have bias.
but the other
yes,
side,
some of us cut ours wrong. By the way, mine are all cut correctly.
but my question is, but
Which
you,
means yours will be, yours will be, yours will be, yours will be.
but the other side is fine.
Yes, but it goes, diamonds are going to go, do you not see
I
what's
see it.
happening?
No,
These
I see
diamonds
it.
go together, and then
I-
these
I know,
diamonds
I
go
understand.
together, and this thing
I'm
grows
just-
by diamonds
I
like
understand.
this.
I
If you
understand.
don't get it right now, you will be pulling your hair out. And I'm going to show you how easy this is. But everybody has to do this themselves because it's dependent on, 1, the fabric thickness, 2, the thread you're using, 3, the needling size in your machine, and 4, how you do your pressing. When I'm done, I want these to be equal
So-
here and here. They have to be.
I'm so glad I didn't want to make this quilt. This
I'm going to show you how. I'm going to show you how easy it is, though. For me, on my machine at home, and I don't know if it'll be the
See,
same
the best part
here.
is that this is like the finishing kit. So everybody that's to this point and dealing with this is like, you're so far, I might as well
You're
finish
this
it.
far, you want to get it. You don't want the
That's what I'm
background to
saying.
be like, ooh.
Or you could be like those people that are making a
For
throw.
my machine, for this to work out with my thread, and I brought my thread in to demonstrate, I'm using the window fill thread. I don't know if this is a size 11. At home, you know me, I use size 11.
You use Wonderfill
Yeah,
for keeping?
yes,
Really?
because it's thin.
Yeah,
It is thin.
that's why a lot of people use deco bottom
Thin.
and then Visifil, yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
nice and thin. I like it thin.
Okay.
So,
Is that what she said, Linda?
what I'm going to do, I'm set this up with I use my 1/4-inch foot. I'm on center, right, Brent?
Yep.
You're going to have to move.
I'm going to
because
get out of the
I
way.
need to be here.
Yeah, because you're not going to let me.
I'm going to show you the first.
I'm not allowed.
I'm
not on this
not
one.
These are some extra diamonds I have.
She said to let you touch the extras.
No, I have another background I'm making, so they're not really extra. They're just temporarily extra. So the first thing, remember I said I'm going to put them, I'm going to put them down like this, and I'm going to flip them over to make sure I get them right. Now, this is going to bother some people, but tough.
Are you using pins?
No, I'm using glue.
It's going to bother some people.
Yeah, because
Then
I
they
don't
can
like
just turn it
pins.
off then.
I don't like pins, so I'm taking my sew line, and I'm making sure, and I'll tell you why. Because one of the reasons people are having a problem with this, and they don't want to hear it, but they're going to hear it, is 1, they don't make sure that these ends are lined up properly. They also don't make sure these are proper. If I'm looking this way, I shouldn't see the back. If I'm looking at the back, I shouldn't see the front. See, I can see the front right there? Can you?
I can see it from here.
That's wrong. Those don't line up. That's like no fun.
In Brent's world, it lines up.
No, it doesn't, Brent. You will pay the price.
Oh, I know. I can totally see where this
So
would just
I'm
adds up over time and
gonna
be a
make
pain.
sure it's right where it needs to be. I don't like pins because they distort. I'm sorry. Even the,
Jean says she's gonna, I think I'm gonna change my hobby if I'm gonna end up like this. I think it was this.
all right. Now you can see once you've got this mastered, you can stack these all up, glue them, heat press them, off you go. Now this glue, by the way, it's not my usual glue.
Okay.
Because they get pressed open. This isn't as strong as my Elmer's glue, but it's plenty strong enough for this. So now I've got this in. Now, you watch, this isn't going to work. At home, what I discovered is I had to move my needle over to the right 2 Hooseldingers.
Hooseldingers?
I had to do 2. When I did 1, it was closer, but it wasn't quite enough. And it might be because of the thickness of my fabric, because I've got more stiffener on it than some people, which is why I say everybody has to test. In the middle, it's not going to work, I guarantee you, because there's fabric that has to get folded over. And the 1/4" foot doesn't really account for that, nor does it account for your thread. So what I do, and sometimes it doesn't matter. You know, if you're doing a bunch of squares, it doesn't matter. But it matters on these. It matters. So I'm going to take my little left-right shift. Am I in the middle? I can't read when I'm on. It's at 3.5. Now, wrong way.
Now,
I'm going back. 1, 2. Okay, so I just moved my needle this way. So now it says, in my machine says 4 millimeters. That's basically 2 clicks over. Now I still can use my 1/4" foot as a guide. I still can use my throat plate. I happen to have the long hole on there, but your needle is not going to hit your foot, your 1/4" foot. You can move that needle over and not hit your foot.
yes. Just as on the Luminaire, there's a left-right shift. You'll also see that on the Dream Machine. But the width adjustment on a straight stitch on most machines will also make this adjustment.
The width adjustment
The width
on a straight
adjustment,
stitch?
yes.
Okay.
It's going to make, in a millimeter. The left-right shift on the Dream Machine and Luminaire make that adjustment in 1/2 millimeter increments.
I'll do this one, then I'll
But
show
the
you
width-
one without it adjusted. You'll be amazed.
But
Sewing standing up on live air is always. Now I'm using my 1/4" foot. Now see, no pins because I did my glue. So you imagine you have a whole stack of these, right? Coming right down. Beep, 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 beep. Now the first thing I'm going to do is test this. Because if I'm happy with this, I'm good to go. If I'm not happy with this, I'm going to tweak and talk until I am happy.
tweak and twalk?
You know,
Is that like Tweedledee and Tweedledum?
this isn't my machine. Maybe I had to come back this way. I don't know.
Yeah.
I did what I did at home to see how close I am. So the first thing when I test is I always just press to the side. I'm looking to see how close I am here. See, that's off a tad. This is not knotted well there. I should have used a
You
leader.
wouldn't have used the ruler first on the other side before you opened it?
No, no. I'm just looking at it like this and going like this. And I'm looking at it and I'm thinking that's off. That's not good enough. I don't like that. That's got that little space. So then I'm going to say, why do I have that little space? Oh, I see why I have that little space. Do you see where this little guy is coming in at the end? See? I need to move my needle over 1. Now at home, that worked just fine and dandy. But here, it's like, it's too far to the right, just enough to throw that off. So now I'm going to go and I'm going to move it. Did you move it back?
No, I haven't touched it. You did left-right shift.
And now you want
Yeah.
375.
I do.
Oh,
On this machine, my home machine has got different. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to line up another one. I'm not going to even use that
Yeah,
one.
so you got 3.75.
That's what I got now. So
if you
now I
use-
moved it once.
If you use the width adjustment on a machine, it's going to be a full millimeter, not 1/4 millimeter. Well, no, 1/2 millimeter increments, not 1/4 millimeter.
Oh, well.
So it won't be as precise.
So, well, this is with this 1/4"
Yeah.
foot.
And
So
that-
remember, this is unique to every machine, all your material, how you press.
But the
There's-
trick of
now
moving
see-
that needle works on all width adjustments on most new machines. Even in analog, old school analog with the dials, you can adjust the width on a straight stitch to change the needle drop.
Okay. All right. So now we've moved it one this way, right?
Yes.
And I'm looking and I'm like, yeah, look, see how you can't see the back, you can't see the front. It's
Yeah.
perfectly aligned, right? Pins, that's impossible to do with pins. That's just because they have Humpty Dumpties. They get in the way.
John asked a good question. By sewing through the glue, is there the danger of gumming up the machine?
No, not at all.
Not of that
Not,
particular glue?
not this glue. That's
Okay.
what this is for.
Now, if you have other glue, they do make non-stick needles for that
You
sort of
don't
thing.
need it for this.
Well, I know you don't need it for that. I'm just throwing that out there.
And the reason I heat press it, because some people don't, but I don't know if you noticed on this one, my ends didn't, when my ends lined up, I had a little wave in the middle.
Yeah.
So I always, because they say you don't even have to heat press it, but I always do, because I want my fabric tight. I want it. Okay, here we go. I hope this is right, because then I can make 700 more.
Pray to the sewing gods.
Okay, it's perfect.
Okay.
And now when I go to, the other thing with this glue versus my other glue is when I go to open it, this glue, because it's not as strong as the Elmer's, it opens up fairly easily. So now my seam is open.
It is perfect.
Stop yawning, you're on live.
I know. Well,
So that's step one, people, okay?
Now, do you use a starter strip?
I do, and I aren't here. And I find that did you see me reverse? If I don't use a starter strip, I do reverse. Because as you see on this one, I didn't reverse and I didn't use a starter strip, so guess what happens?
what's a starter strip? This is new
The
to me.
leaders, they're leaders.
Whatever.
Just a piece of.
Oh, because you're, okay, gotcha. Because you're
that-
chain stitching, yeah.
Yes.
So that the lock, yeah, I
Well,
got you.
even if you're not chain stitching, see what happens if you don't
Yeah,
use
that's,
the
yeah,
leader?
yeah, I got what you're saying.
So
yeah.
so I did a quick reverse for a couple stitches because otherwise it does. They open up and I don't,
Sometimes they catch too,
they do catch.
so I wasn't sure.
So the other reason I use a leader and a follower, by the way, is because, and this will surprise you, Danny, I don't like these threads. These drive me bonkers.
Get out. I
Yeah.
never would have guessed.
I know. And rather than sit there and clip all these little threads all the time, if I'm using a leader or a follower, I can clip it once right close to this and keep the extra on the leader or the follower.
I would.
I can't stand those. They drive me nuts. So, I bet you do. You probably have a basket full because you're saving all your cheap little.
Yeah, you
Okay,
know it.
so I can't stress enough. Figure out what your settings on your machine need to be before you go on this adventure, because after that, now.
And this is also an interesting point to bring up, because if you're one of those people who go to a class and use a different machine at a class,
That's again.
and take that same project home on a different machine.
I'm going to try.
Different
and use this one.
machines, the tolerances of that 1/4 inch vary slightly. So depending on how much piecing's involved, sewing the one project on 2 different machines can give you some wonkiness if you're not careful.
You
just throwing that out
really,
there.
it
now,
didn't take
Jean-
long for me to figure out what to do, guys.
Now, Jean
And
wants
now
to
I
know,
know what to do for all of them.
do you have to worry about cleaning your iron with the glue that
No,
you're doing?
no.
I mean, I know you have the Teflon one. You always tell us you got to get a good Teflon
Right,
plate.
no, but this glue, this is Soline's glue. No,
Yeah.
because at home I used a different iron and I
Yeah.
had no problem. It's not really super duper.
It's just enough to hold things in place.
And when I heat press it, you're basically quickly drying it,
Yeah.
you know. And once it's dry, your needle doesn't stick to it. I mean, you saw how quickly I opened the seam up because it was in my seam
Yeah.
where I put it. There's nothing there. It's gone. It's gone. And it comes in colors.
You almost make it look easy to be a precision sewer.
Comes with
I
pretty
know.
colors, so if you have different colors.
I might have to change
This
my
is
tune
blue,
on
I
being
have
lazy.
pink, white, and yellow. It isn't, you know what happens? So now I'm set. I'm not
No, I
picking
know.
out. I'm not picking out. It took me,
I know. I'm
took me a
impressed.
few minutes
You've-
to get things
you've
set up.
got me
and now
converted.
I got how many of these effing things to put together? Look at it.
The
No,
fact that I would- I would worry-
not use pins on
Yeah.
this. I would,
No, I'm just
now,
saying-
some people wouldn't even glue them. They wouldn't even glue them.
I'm just saying
they
that-
just go.
When you get to the
Can I-
next section.
Can I tell you why I don't? Because I started out not gluing, not pinning,
Yeah.
not anything. Because I'm like, this isn't a piece. I can hold these 2 pieces together and stick them through my machine. No, you cannot. You cannot. Because fabric moves. I
Yeah.
don't care. It does.
Yeah.
And I have them lined up perfectly. And he's going through the machine, and all of a sudden the front's past the back. And I'm telling you, a 1/16 of an inch is going to make those seams off. And once those seams are off and it multiplies, you're mad. So glue, it takes seconds. Line it up,
You got me-
set
you
it,
got me
stack it
convinced.
up, feed it through.
You got me even thinking that I could get past that 1/16 of an inch and be a perfectionist. Almost.
Brent, you would be sorry if you kept going.
Oh, I know. I
You
can
would.
see why it would add up.
So
it would be awful.
those of you, well, now I want to show you the
You
next
see how
aha.
not to do it?
I want to show you the next aha moment I had. This is a big aha moment for my Nebula folks.
Yeah.
And for other folks, whenever you find you have to do stuff like this. I am now going to, oh, guys, guess what I got hold of? Wonderful fusible thread. And it is so much like regular thread, I had to label it. And it goes in the needle just fine and dandy, and it goes in the bobbin just fine and dandy. So it wins for that. I'll show you what else I got that didn't win. Boy, I have a lot of failures this week. Be amazed, people. Remember I showed you about putting fusible thread in the machine, in the bobbin?
Yeah.
Remember I showed you how to get a ruler and a pencil? Watch this.
A ruler. Okay.
See, if I make these things, I'm like, there's gotta be a faster way.
Well,
I'm
you're doing
putting-
174 of them. I mean.
I'm putting fusible in my bobbin right now. Now keep in mind, I've got these guys all stacked up, okay? I'm not changing my, oh, Brent, that didn't go in good. Doesn't like your hole. There we go. All right. Can you put those in the back so I don't? So I still have my wonderful in the top. I have my fusible in the bottom, okay? Now I know, and I have my magic setting, right? In this case, I clicked it over 1, right?
Yeah.
Let's just pretend this one was perfect for giggles tonight,
Yeah.
okay? I'm not going to go get my pen and my ruler. Heck, I just set everything up here, didn't I?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I'm like, what are you talking
yeah.
about? Pen and ruler. That was last
Yeah,
week.
yeah.
It's been a long week.
So one of these, I just need to know where the intersection is, correct? So I've got fusible in the bottom, and that means the fusible, oh, bases are going to get fused together. So fusible's in the bottom. I'm just going to stitch this with my thread. Oh,
Because that intersection of the seam is exactly where you
this
want
is
that.
exactly where I'm going to sew. Eddie, can you do it top down? I don't know if you can see it. But I have now just marked my exact sew line right there. And then I'm going to take this piece. Now keep in mind, I mean, you could sew all the way across if you want. You got a stack of these. You just run them through your machine. Now I'm going to do this one. I got fusible in my bobbin, right? Oh, I didn't press this one open.
Oh, Baba.
Well, you don't. Yeah, this is the failed one anyway, so I don't care. All right.
The failed one.
It is. It's off.
You have no value to us.
So
We don't
again,
care about you.
I've already got my setting. What do I got in here, people? I got fusible thread, right?
And the fusible's in the bobbin, so you're doing the right side down because that's where you want your fusible, correct?
That right. If you would put
Because-
it, I found it easier to use it in the bobbin because it was faster than threading a needle. That's why I'm not using it in the top.
Okay.
It's easier for me to put a bobbin in now. Okay, so now what I got, this is so magical.
Well, the other reason that I would think that you'd want it in the bobbin is that if you have a colored thread on top, it'll be easier to see the 1/4 inch line on the back side.
Well, that's true too. That's true too.
I'm using that
So
theory because it makes
now-
me sound smart.
This is where Becky went, oh my God, why didn't I think of this? Now I know exactly where I'm going to put my pin, right? I sewed the intersection. Am I too low, too high? Help me. Okay, then I'm gonna line it up with, guess what? Where I just sewed. It's perfect. I already know where to go.
And so you can just run all your things through at once and everything's ready to go.
So now,
That's too much work.
But are you going to get the pencil and the ruler all out?
no, it isn't too much work. It flies. Well,
Yeah, but see, it's
I'm
fusible,
going
so
to.
I did
I'm-
drop in the pin thing.
Yeah, but I'm totally sold on
Well,
this
I'm
because you
dropping my
just fused it
pin.
too.
And now I'm fusing my
She doesn't need
pieces.
to pin it now.
And my pin is coming out.
Yeah, no pinning necessary. My allergy to pins. This is the way to go.
Here we go.
Yes.
Because of the fusible thread.
Now, I've done all my fusing, so now I have to change my bobbin back. I don't do this every piece, guys. That would drive you nuts. This is because we have 10 zillion to make. Okay, you set up your little workshop and you go. Now watch.
What's Adriana doing this whole time? She should be doing some of the sewing.
Now watch. This is just like so. You saw how that was no biggie, right?
Yeah.
And I hate that seam's not open.
Well, I won't tell if you don't, and nobody will know.
Okay, I do not have a leader on, but this is a practice one.
Well, you hate
But
the
here's what I was
seam's on the wrong
saying.
way anyway.
I go backwards like that, just 2 stitches if I'm not using a leader. So here I come. The other thing with doing it the way I just did, y'all know I hate it when the seams go on the back side when you aren't looking. Or they fold over where they shan't. They aren't going to fold over where they shan't if you've done this, because you've stitched them down already. So they stay nice and flat
Where they shan't.
where they shan't.
You actually use shan't in a sentence in the proper way. I'm just
Oh,
saying.
well, is that a miracle or something?
I'm just saying. It's
What
like one
the
of those.
heck?
It's like one of those words that people like use, and it's like it doesn't make sense when they do it. But
Okay,
shan't.
here we go, guys. Here we go. This is the moment. Now keep in mind, this one wasn't exactly
It don't
stellar.
matter. Let's
It
see.
does matter. I would not have used it. I would have fixed it.
I would have used it. I wouldn't let that poor piece go to.
Not all my points are perfect. I'll tell you right now, Becky, you're not allowed to look at
Did you see it? Did you see? Do you see what I'm seeing?
Can't really see.
Oh my God! Let me press it. Let me show
Are you
you.
gonna press those seams open?
Well, I'm going to try to. Yes. The other thing is, if you have trouble pressing your, oh, I brought my tool and everything. I'm not using it. Is if you use one of these by Annie's things, I don't know if you need to use these. You can pre-press by Annie's or other tools, but.
Use it. Gold thing.
Yeah, I know. I'm so excited about my intersection. Okay, and Becky's still not done after she gets used. See, look at my completed one. I'm going to show you. See how flat everything is?
See,
You start it again?
No, that's fine.
see, Jean's getting into the future versus the
That
past.
just helps my seams stay nice and flat, but not getting too
But-
stiff. However, I could argue with you. If you're going to get it wet, you might as well get it stiff. Look at that!
I'm proud of you, Lynn. You let that one just go.
I thought
Come
I
on! Marvel! Marvel!
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Marvel!
At perfection.
I'm telling you.
You all got to watch that live. It was like a cooking show, and it comes out of the oven
Look
perfect.
at it. But
It
you
happened in
see,
real time.
But it's the make sure you get your seam allowance right at the very beginning. Take that extra few minutes to know where your setting needs to be, and I just love the fusible thread in the bobbin. I just love it. To me, it's like ding dong. It's done, and it's everything lines up. No pins.
It's a fantastic, yeah.
Done. Open it up.
And
now,
we will have fusible thread in stock by this
we
time
will,
next
and
week.
he's getting Wonder Fill, which
Yeah.
I did do some experiments. What time is it?
It's 10 after
No,
7.
Well, I'm going to do it quick, okay? Because I did this week. I went into fusible. I got some Guterman. Brenda, you might be a Guterman person. I'm not. I'm going to show you why.
We used to be Guterman back in the day when we first opened. We're like Guterman,
Guterman's
and then we're like
fusible thread.
Chlorophyll.
Here's what happens with Guterman. One, it won't go through my small needle. It won't. So it's a bobbin only thing. Two, it doesn't disappear. It's like the glue is around the thread. So you know what I like about these other ones is, I mean, I press, they're gone, right? This one, when I press, and I press, and I press, and I press again, it's like the glue is around something, and the something, see,
Yeah.
that something is still there.
Yeah.
It's a thread.
Yeah.
So it never goes away.
Huh.
So if you have a project where you don't want it to go away,
So,
That's-
Might be
maybe your binding project, because you don't want it to disappear.
Right.
I don't like that it doesn't go away.
so if it disappears when you hit it with heat, I mean,
Yes.
it gets sticky, but
This
it'll
is-
disappear.
Yeah.
Could you use
Superior.
that
This is superior.
in some cases where you wanted like the water soluble, the idea where you want that thread to disappear? Could you use the fusible and just kind of treat it like a heat?
Well, yeah, because well, I guess I didn't show you. If I make a mistake and I wanted to, I think I did
Yeah.
demonstrate it with the bonding, and I
Yeah.
go, oh, I didn't like it, I just melt it and pull
Yeah,
the
so I'm
other
just saying,
thread out.
so you kind of get a 2-for-1 then out of it. You don't need like the water soluble anymore because you can kind of just heat,
That's true.
heat soluble.
That's true, but it really will disappear, so don't do it for anything permanent.
Well, no,
This is the superior thread, i.e. Charlotte's web that I used the first time. What I like about this, it doesn't go through the needle, works well in the bobbin. What I like about this one is it disappears. The glue just, see how quick?
yeah.
And it actually sticks a little bit better than that one because it's a little thicker. However, the Wonderfill, I swear to God, you can't even tell. I can use it up or down. And sometimes, like if I'm doing an applique, I might want it up, I don't know. So I like that versatility, but the other thing I like is it goes away. It goes away.
Cool.
It goes away.
So Wonderfill wins.
So Wonderfill, in my book, hands down what Brent should be carrying
Those crazy
and we
Canadians.
should be using.
Oh yeah, well, like I said, I just talked to them today,
So
yesterday.
anyone with some Goudaman?
So is that it?
Isn't that enough? I had a
Yeah.
trying week. I had a trying
I mean,
week.
and it's a perfect block that you just made, the perfect diamond.
Look how beautiful they are.
They do come out nice.
And yeah, and it's setting it up. Once you're set up,
Good to go.
it's nothing for me to run that little intersection.
No.
Brenda might not need to do it. I need to do it.
I'd do it because trying to get all of those diamonds in place so that they do look, and you're right.
Because if one's wrong,
If one is wrong, by the end of the row.
I'm starting to wonder, you know
Yeah.
that Terra quilt that we had so much trouble with the center on?
Yeah.
mine
I'm
came
won-
out perfect.
I'm wondering if-
I paper pieced it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I wonder if some of
Mine's
these would work.
Mine's gorgeous.
Yep.
Of course, the quilt's not finished. I think I'm on 10 now, though.
Okay.
Mine came out fine. I
Yeah,
had
Brenda,
no
you just
problem.
know how to make fabric. You just talk to
Anyway,
me.
I'm going to bring us out and we'll have this discussion off air. Anyway, thank you for joining us
Thank you,
for another
yeah.
evening of shenanigans with Becky and Brent. Join us again next week.
Shan't is the future should it in the past?
Yeah, shall
Oh.
versus shan't.
Oh,
You know how to learn all about tenses? Learn a foreign language. You learn about the perfect, the conditional, the imperfect. all
oh,
those things.
someone asked about the glue. She got the
Yeah,
glue.
anyway.
Okay.
Thank you for joining us. We'll see you all again next week at 6 o'clock here on, we don't have a channel, so yeah, thanks for joining us. All right,
All
be
right.
well, be excellent to each other, and so on.